Hey guys, Stan the Man 636 back here today. Now today you guys can see we are making another Planet Coaster video. I haven't made one in a while, but today we are building Morey's Piers Sea Serpent, as you probably could see in the title. Now if you do not know where this is located, this coaster is located at Wildwood, New Jersey on Morey's Piers. Now I don't know the exact pier it's on the middle pier, that's all I could tell you. But I go to Morey's Piers every year. Now I built a version of this coaster earlier back in the year, and it wasn't really the way I wanted it to be. It wasn't really accurate in any way. I did post it on the Steam Workshop. That link will be in the description. The same with this one at the end. But the one I built a year ago wasn't really what I was looking for, really, in the end quality. So as you can see right now, I'm trying to make this one as accurate as possible because the other one wasn't at all. So as I remember, if I remember correctly, this is. If not, I will put stuff up on the screen right now. The Sea Serpent's max height on the chain lift is 38 meters tall. I don't know how many feet it is because I had to translate it to feet or to meters because this game only reads in meters. So I'll give you the feet value now. And the max speed is 40. I want to say 47 miles per hour. But right there, after that little bit right there, I've achieved it. Now we're going to cut to another clip right now. So in this clip, I attempted to build the loop/turn. I forget what it's actually called. That'll be popping up on the screen right now. But as you'll see, I look for the pre-made version of it, which is right there actually. I didn't feel like I should have used it because making it myself, I thought was going to be the more fun and enjoyable and legit way of doing it, but on my older version of this coaster that I built, that turn I did myself, and it took me around 2 hours, I think, maybe an hour. I don't really remember exactly because I didn't record it, but it didn't end up coming out the way it should have. The difference in between the pre-made one and the one if I made it myself on the other coaster is with both chain lifts, or both lifts, they come into like a V shape. They sort of turn in on each other, and that's caused by the loop. Now, when I made the other coaster, I didn't account for that, so they just sort of were horizontal from each other, and it just never really worked. So we're gonna skip ahead a little bit because, as you guys can see, this took me a while. Actually, I think I spent a good half hour, maybe 45 minutes trying to do it, and it just didn't come out right. So we're gonna skip ahead to the till I finish it. Okay, so here we are. There's me finishing up the loop there. Now I do a little test run to see if the speed's correct, because speed's really everything. I don't know the exact speed around that bend, but I've seen it go through it so many times now to the point where just looking at it, I know if it's right or wrong. So here I am editing and finishing it. Now, I kept editing the size of this because I wanted to, in the final build for this build, I wanted to put the like information booths and stuff and shop they have back there. They have a little bit of a information stand in between the coaster bay and the roller coaster itself. Now, right here, you'll see me, I'm gonna build the loop here. Now, I had to watch a video. It was right. I had the option of a right or left loop, and it ended up being a left one, which I'm doing right here. But let's get back to that information stand thing I was talking about. Now, right in the center area, in between that loop and the coaster bay, is like a little like customer service area where you can get like, I guess, tickets and stuff. I don't know it really exactly, but halfway through the build, which you'll see later, I figured out that the coaster bay, the loading area, is a lot bigger than the actual loading area in real life. I looked at the like around the size. I didn't get the actual size of like dimensions, but I just eyeballed it and I was like, yeah, that's a little too big. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to get the both lifts around the same height. Now, I did try and curve it back there to try and, I think, gain some more room. I'm not sure if this was this time I did it. Oh yeah, and then I ended up resizing the loop right here, which I tried to fix it, but if I wanted to fix it, that means I had to redo the whole track, or at least most of it. So there's me redoing it. Delete everything. And I kept trying to think I could gain more room by making it curve just a little bit, but it just didn't look accurate to the actual coaster itself. So I ended up ditching the idea of trying to make it make a little bit more room for the information stand, because it just doesn't look right. Like, the coaster didn't look right. But we're gonna skip a little bit ahead because I think I went a little AFK here, and it's pretty much the same thing. I just kept editing the turn, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna get right back now. After I wrote it once, I started to recolor it. Now you guys will be able to see a ride perspective at the end. I'm just gonna save that to the end. Now I start working on the cars, but before I started doing that, I worked on the loop a little bit. I thought it was a little bit bigger than what the actual ride was, and I just made it a little bit smaller. But as you can see right now, I start working on the coloring for the cars. Now I got it to pretty much as close as I could get it to the actual cars in real life. Now I wish I could paint like every little bit of it, because it would make it more accurate. Like the little bit of the front of that, I'm not sure if it's orange. I don't think it is. I could definitely be wrong about that, but pretty much I got the cars as close to their actual counterparts as possible. Now, in the next clip, which I'm going to skip to, I'm going to start working on the coaster bay, so let's skip ahead to that right now. Okay, so here I am working on the coaster bay. Now, I first started to try and figure out what material I wanted to use. Now, the exterior is like a vinyl wood, I would assume. I just looking at pictures here. So, I was trying to find an object or a wall that looked as accurate to the real wall as possible. Now, I had to find material also in the game that you can change colors. Now, if anyone from Planet Coaster is watching this, which I don't think anyone is, you gotta make at least everything change colors. It's a little bit annoying. I eventually did find something, but I cut that all out because that took a good, like, 15 minutes of just trying to find the right material. Now, first thing I started on was the, I guess you could say, arches or pillars. Now, Morey's Piers, the Sea Serpent has 4 pillars. Now, I ended up ditching 4 and I went with 3 because the coaster bay wasn't long enough. And then I tried to add they have like a little triangle arch thing on the roof that has the Sea Serpent symbol on it, but I ended up editing this pillar thing in a little bit. Now, right now, I started working on the ramp. Now, they have stairs that go to the left from the exit, and they have a ramp that goes to the right and winds its way around. Now, that took me some time to make, but overall, that was pretty much fairly easy. I don't remember the next part I work on. I worked on the, I think, roof next? Probably. No, I started working on I started working on the pillars again. As I said, I started editing them again. Now, at this time, I was trying to figure out, well, first thing is I totally forgot the fact that I could make the attach, like, I forget, is that like attach angle, or I forget what it's called, but it just makes the more fine placement of your parts instead of like 4 meters. So I tried to do a skinnier option there. That didn't look right, and I think I stayed with what I had. Okay, so here's me. I was trying to figure out what looked correct, so I ended up going with that for the sign, I think, or something smaller than that. I think I went with the... I knew that was too big. Yeah, I went with that for the sign. So eventually now I'm starting to look for roof material. Now, this was the best... I forget what this was. I think it was like wood roofing or something. This was the best I could find that actually looked like the real deal. Now, here's me just, you know, at putting in slopes and stuff, editing the coaster a little bit. I put that there. Now, I was debating about these two styles of roof. For one, that was a little bit more pointy, because the problem with the coaster bays is they're 3 wide, or an uneven number, or uneven number cubes, I guess, wide. Now the problem, or meters, the problem with that is when it's uneven is it's a pain to make things even, so you have to have like that center bit right there that looks a little off, but doesn't bother me that much. Now, I start trying to see like where if I could do a TV screen or something for the signing there, but I ended up not doing that. Now, right above the center, they have, I don't know what exactly it's called, but they just pretty much have something sticking out the roof, but obviously they do not have that in Planet Coaster, and I ended up wasting, well, I wouldn't say wasting, but I ended up spending a lot of time trying to figure out how that works. Sadly, I wish with the building materials you could resize them, because if I were able to resize the wall pieces maybe like a little bit smaller, I probably would have been able to do it, including the roofing actually. If I was able to make it a little bit smaller, I would have been able to do it. There might be a way, it's just I don't know the way. If there is a way, just comment it down below. Now, we're going to skip a little bit ahead because I pretty much spent a lot of time, as you guys can see right now, on this little bit here. So we'll skip ahead to once I stop obsessing over this little hump in the roof. Okay, so skip ahead to the next day. Now, I totally forgot to click the record button. So I ended up, a little bit of progress went ahead. Now, as you can see with the pillars, I added some white accenting or like vinyl siding to the vinyl siding. I forget what that stuff's really called, but right now, as you can see, I'm working on, they have like an overhang. I don't know exactly what to call it, but I just have a little overhang on the exit queue. Now, what I started to do was I started to construct that up right here. I was trying to get everything. First thing, I was trying to find the right material to use. As you can see, I'm just seeing, you know, what material looks right. And this part took me actually a fine amount of time to do, if I can English correctly. It took me a little bit of time because I wanted to try and get everything evenly spaced out. And I end up editing it. I think I added a few more, like, posts. Yeah, right there. I thought they was a little too wide. So I start adding posts. I added a few to the end also, I think. But, I just progressively went down the line and kept adding so it looked correct. And since everything was at the right angle, yeah, I just used the same thing. So everything just smoothly transitioned. It didn't look like I placed multiple parts. Now, after this, I think I start trying to mess with the queue line a little bit. I know I do eventually end up editing the queue line beneath because it actually goes underneath this whole overhang. Now, that's what the ramp does. But yeah, there's just me going row by row, making sure everything's even. Now, surprisingly, I just eyeballed all this. None of it was really like measured out. I was just like, this looks fine. Now, I may end up editing this later in the future. I think it's a little too open for my liking. I might end up editing it, I may not. But for the version that I built right now, that's on the Steam Workshop, which the link for this download is in the description. That has already been like the Steam Workshop save is like this. So I end up adding an extra row because I looked at the picture again and noticed that it actually does overhang a little bit out. So I end up editing that, and, you know, just doing the regular stuff. Now, it ended up looking okay. I don't know. As I said, I don't know what I'm really gonna do with it. So pretty much I end up wasting a few more hours trying to fit the information stands behind the coaster. I end up ditching that idea for now. I will eventually do it in a future video, but I pretty much add the queue lines, finish everything up, make sure everything is perfect. Now, the next clip is pretty much the one you've all been waiting for. It is the perspective of riding the coaster, so I hope you guys do enjoy it, and I will stop my commentating till the end. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below. If I did anything wrong about this coaster, please comment it down below, because I'm on the second iteration and I am willing to make changes. So as I said, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.